Breaking Bad and its prequel show Better Call Saul are more than just your average crime dramas. They manage to do something that most franchises never do, which is create their own unique and memorable world. The Breaking Bad universe has its own distinct setting, easily identifiable both visually and tonally. Part of this is of course the location. Having the show be in the city of Albuquerque was one of the best decisions the showrunners ever made. Not only was Albuquerque a mostly unknown location that viewers could associate primarily with the show, the desert landscape of New Mexico created a distinct neo-western vibe that set Breaking Bad apart from the multitude of crime shows set in New York or Los Angeles.
Only two things I know about Albuquerque. Bugs Bunny should have taken a left turn there, and give me 100 tries, I'll never be able to spell it.
However, another aspect of the world building of Breaking Bad is the original brands that the show creates. There are plenty of real-life locations as well, but the show makes use of several recurring original businesses to flesh out the world and make it seem like their own distinct universe. And in this video, I'll be breaking down some of these businesses and examining what exactly they add to the franchise.
No, Chili P's my signature.
Not anymore.
One of the defining brands of the show is Blue Sky, the signature meth produced by Walt and Jesse. After switching to a P2P cook to avoid the trouble of getting pseudo, the new process results in their meth being colored blue. Because of the incredible purity of the product, along with its distinct appearance, Blue Sky becomes the most sought-after meth in the world. It is so highly prized that other dealers like Dunkin' dyed their meth with food coloring to make it look like Walt's. When Lydia expanded the operation to the Czech Republic, she insisted that they get the color right because the brand had become so popular even in Europe.
Blue is our brand. All over Europe, it's what our buyers pay top dollar for.
The blue coloring of the meth was an invention of the show. In real life, a pure product like Walt's would appear colorless. However, the creators wanted Walt's product to be easily identifiable, and they definitely succeeded. It is such a well-known symbol of the show that even other media like The Walking Dead, Arrow, and even video games like Payday 2 have featured blue meth.
He starts making meth to make money for his family, but except he dyes it blue for some reason.
Yeah, I would never do blue meth. Coloring it natural.
Another popular symbol of the show is Los Pollos Hermanos, the fried chicken restaurant that Gustavo Fring owns and operates. It is easily one of, if not the most identifiable symbols of the show, and is featured prominently throughout both Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul.
Come in and try our new curly fries. We are so sure you'll like them. And if you don't, I will kill your wife. I will kill your son. I will kill your infant daughter.
Los Pollos Hermanos. Taste the family.
The restaurant acts as a front for Gus's meth empire in the Southwest, allowing him to distribute drugs without drawing attention. Gus's dedication in building this operation out over decades is part of his long-term scheme to get revenge on the cartel for killing Max, his former partner, and the other chicken brothers shown in the logo. However, the restaurant is also a source of pride for Gus. He takes the standards and quality of the restaurant extremely seriously, and the franchise is considered a genuine part of the food culture of the city. Perhaps Gus does this because he's a perfectionist in all things, or it might be done to honor the memory of Max, who was the original chef at their location in Mexico.
Que es el más sabroso en todo México.
Gracias, Don Eladio. Es un gran honor. Max es el chef. Todos los halagos son para él.
The next business I want to talk about is Venezia's Pizzeria, a restaurant referenced multiple times in Breaking Bad and in Better Call Saul. It's a pizza place with a unique twist. It doesn't slice the pizza before serving, instead leaving it as one whole pie. Apparently, this is done to save money on preparation costs.
Yo, what's up with the pie, man? It ain't cut.
Yeah, right. That's the gimmick.
What gimmick?
This place, they don't cut their pizza and they pass the savings on to you.
There is actually a meta reference for this quirk. In Season 3, Walt brings a pizza to the house in order to try and reconcile with Skyler. When this fails, he angrily throws the pizza onto the roof, and, quite humorously, the pizza lands completely intact. This is classic Breaking Bad humor, but it only works if the pizza is unsliced, which is unusual for most large pizzas. There are some restaurants that leave their pizzas whole, but it's rare, and viewers of the show questioned why the pizza wasn't sliced. So, in Season 4, the writers wrote in an explanation that Venezia's Pizzeria doesn't slice their pizzas in order to pass the savings on to the customer. This is again quite funny, and Jesse rightly questions how much money that could possibly save. This is further referenced in Better Call Saul, with Neff, the owner of the copy machine store, ordering a pizza from there and specifically asking for it to be sliced for him.
Yes, sliced, please. Could you also throw in some dipping sticks?
Speaking of restaurants, I wanted to give a quick shout out to Taco Cabeza. When Walt sets up the drug deal with Tuco, he arranges to meet in a junkyard in the middle of nowhere. Jesse complains that they should have met somewhere public, like Taco Cabeza.
I don't know, how about Taco Cabeza? Half the deals I've ever done went down at Taco Cabeza.
Not only is this used to show how uninformed Walt is at drug dealing at this point, it also has profound consequences for the series. The remote location allows Tuco to kill his associate Nodos, which leads directly to him kidnapping Walt and Jesse and setting off the search for them that would eventually unravel everything. All that because Walt didn't meet at Taco Cabeza.
Nobody ever gets shot at Taco Cabeza.
The restaurant is also mentioned in Better Call Saul as being near Saul's office.
Taco Cabeza is just around the corner.
Moving on from restaurants, I wanted to mention Tampico Furniture. After nearly killing Crazy 8 in the pilot, Walt is left with the decision about what to do with him when he survives. Crazy 8 reveals that his name is Domingo Molina, and that his family owns Tampico Furniture, a store where Walt bought his son's crib when he was a baby.
Tampico is the name, oh.
The story not only shows that Walt and Domingo's lives had crossed paths before, just like it would in a smaller town like Albuquerque, it's also a symbol of Domingo's innocence, which he tries to play to convince Walt to let him live. It's the simple life he could have lived if he never went into crime. This parallels not only Walt's decision to go into crime instead of sticking with his dead-end teaching job, but also Nacho's relationship to his father and the upholstery store in Better Call Saul. When we see Domingo in Better Call Saul, he's wearing a Tampico Furniture shirt. He's also noticeably more timid in the prequel, showing that he didn't start out as the gangster we see in Breaking Bad. Like Nacho and Jesse, he started out as an innocent kid, but gradually became corrupted by his life of crime. And after Walt kills Domingo, his innocence is ended as well. Though it was in self-defense, we're later shown that very crib he bought from Tampico, and reminded that Walt killed someone's baby, which would not be the last time. Finally, to wrap things up, let's talk about Zafiro Añejo. Meaning sapphire in English, Zafiro is an extremely expensive and luxurious tequila. It was used by Gus as a gift for Don Eladio, which was secretly poisoned and ended up killing the leaders of the cartel. The reason why this drink was invented for the show is because they were unable to find any real tequila companies that would allow their product to be shown poisoning people. While I can definitely understand that, in hindsight the popularity of Breaking Bad would have probably resulted in even more sales. It's also a favorite drink of Jimmy and Kim in Better Call Saul. They first try the tequila when they scam Ken the stockbroker into buying them a bottle, and after that, the drink becomes a symbol of the fun they have with scams. The decorative bottle topper is a recurring symbol of corruption in both of their stories from that point on. However, Better Call Saul also creates some continuity issues for Zafiro Añejo. In Breaking Bad, the tequila is said to be extremely expensive and rare. Don Eladio acts with joy and surprise when Gus brings it to him, which is part of why he drinks it despite the risk.
No, imposible. Zafiro Añejo.
In Better Call Saul, even though it's portrayed as expensive as far as normal tequilas go, it's not nearly as expensive as it should be. The bar they go to serves $50 shots of Zafiro, which, while that might sound like a lot, remember that a small bottle like that would probably fill less than 20 shots. When Don Eladio has the drink poured, he only brings out 12 shot glasses, which is probably how much it could fill. That means that at $50 a shot, the bottle would only cost around $600. Even less when you consider that restaurants mark up the price of alcohol as much as 500% in some cases, which would put the price closer to around $200 a bottle. This is further corroborated when Jimmy buys a bottle of Zafiro Añejo at a liquor store for $495. And it's not the only one he buys in the series. He also gets another bottle in the 3rd season when he thinks that Sandpiper is going to settle. If broke-ass Jimmy McGill can buy multiple bottles of the stuff, do you really think that the leader of the Mexican cartel is going to be impressed with it? Lalo brought him a 1983 Ferrari as a gift. A bottle that you can get at Bevmo is not going to cut it. For context, the design of the bottle is said to be based on the Hardy Perfection series of cognac. In real life, bottles of this sell for tens of thousands of dollars, which is much more in line with what a crime boss like Eladio would be drinking. However, I think they just wanted a recurring symbol for Jimmy and Kim to drink in the show, and didn't think too much about how it would affect the continuity.
Worth every penny.
Overall, though, I hope I've shown you how these fictional brands help flesh out the world of Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. These businesses and products serve as world building, the same way that something like Valyrian Steel does in Game of Thrones. It makes the setting of these series feel distinct, closer to its own unique world than just its real-life location. Basically, I'm saying that Breaking Bad is a fantasy series.
Jesse, we need to brew.
Pointless videos are my brand. Obscracing Media, Daz J. Kid, Sam Cedarland, Celery Man, Jenna Marie Johnson, Brad Smith Studios, Uncle Mike, Matt Joyce, Countess Von Zarevich, and Luke P.